I'm Chris, and this is MMA for you. I'm going to be doing my predictions for Bellator 160, Henderson versus Freire, which happens on August 26th. But before I get into that, I'd like to plug my own author's website at www.chrismoldong.com. I'm an author specializing in the fantasy genre, and you can purchase some of my works, starting with my first novel, a fantasy adventure called The Mustard Prince in the Condiment Kingdom, for $4.99 at www.chrismoldong.com on PDF format, or if you have an e-reader, you can buy it from Amazon.com for $4.99. Also, you can buy some of my short stories and short story collections, starting with and these are just $1.99, starting with the fantasy horror short story, Land of the Wooden Statues, which I'm trying to make into a novel. The horror collection, which is a collection of 3 of my horror short stories, and my fantasy fable collection, which is a collection of 4 of my fantasy fable short stories. Okay, on to the card. I like this card. I think it's quite solid. You got some good prospects on here: Derek Anderson, Bubba Jenkins, McKee. Even the prelims are actually kind of strong. You have Chinzo Machida, Joey Davis, and of course Baby Slice. Little disclaimer here though, I actually know one of the guys that's fighting on the main card, so in that fight I am going to be heavily biased. I'm usually try not to be, but like I said, I know one of the guys on the main card, so let's just get, and another disclaimer too, outside of a couple of these guys on the undercard, I generally do not watch, I didn't bother to watch any of these undercard fighters. Jake Roberts looks interesting though with 6-0. He's fighting Steven Martinez, who trains at a Millennium MMA. That fight actually looks pretty cool. Should probably watch some stuff there, but otherwise, yeah, I've seen Chinzo Machida. I haven't seen Joey Davis. Saw that one fight with with Kevin Ferguson Jr. So, otherwise, oh yeah, and I have seen Andy Murad and Jonny Cisneros. Otherwise, don't really kind of coin flip with those prelim fights. So let's get started. Okay, in the main event, we have Benson Smooth Henderson versus Patricio Pitbull Freire. Okay, Freire, 25-3 record with 9 wins by KO or TKO, 10 wins by sub. He's 29 years old. He's going to be 5'6", trains out of Pitbull Brothers, and he's a former Bellator featherweight champion. He is moving up to 155. He's a strong boxer with real heavy hands. His takedown defense is real strong. His ability to get back to his feet when taken down is real good. He is a BJJ black belt, if I'm not mistaken. I will say that I kind of am a bit worried about his chin. This is a guy that's been getting dropped and or wobbled a good amount of times in his past fights against Daniel Strauss, against he almost lost that one fight against that guy. Ah, man, I forgot his name now. German fighter, real good, solid. Whose name absolutely escapes me at this moment. He got dropped by him. So yeah, I'm a bit worried about Pitbull's chin, if it's deteriorating or not. Benson Henderson, 23-6 record, 2 wins by KO or TKO, 10 wins by sub. He also has 2 losses by sub. 32 years old, he's 5'9", trains out of MMA Lab. He is a former UFC lightweight champion, and he's strong in the clinch. Really strong in the clinch, actually. He's a good wrestler with strong scrambles. His chin's real good. He's super resilient. Koreshkov kept dropping him, and he still kept fighting. His cardio is really good. His boxing technique's actually improving, and his overall stand-up's good, and his leg kicks are actually pretty strong. So there's a couple questions here at this fight. One, what's Patricio Pitbull going to look at 155? He's already relatively undersized at 145. It's just one of those things where like he's gonna be the shorter guy. He's gonna be reaching up. I mean, I think he's fighting guys that are like 5'9" anyways. So, yeah, like it's nothing he hasn't fought before in a sense. Um, this is also a weird stylistic matchup for Benson Henderson. It's not a softball by any means. Um, I would suspect that he's the favorite to win this. The thing is, though, Freire's really hard to take down. He's a pretty strong guy. I just, I can't imagine what Henderson's going to do against him per se. Sometimes Henderson gets a little too happy standing with his opponent when he shouldn't be too. So that's what makes this fight really interesting, because I don't think it's actually that good of a stylistic matchup for Henderson. But the biggest problem with Freire, with Pitbull, is that he's moving up to 155. He's going to be the shorter fighter. And like I said, he's been taking a lot of damage lately in his MMA career. And I can't help but feel it's starting to show. So this is a tough matchup because as far as boxing goes, I got a favorite Pitbull here in that sense. He's probably he's gonna be the heavier handed guy if his power transfers higher up there, and he's hard to take down. But then he's at such a reach disadvantage. So I don't know if he's going to be able to hit Benson Henderson cleanly and consistently. With Henderson, like I said, he's getting better with the stand-up. If he gets like a leg kicking game, that could also help him too, especially against Freire. Hands, though, I mean, I think Henderson's hands are improving. And then he has all these little veteran tricks that he does. And the other thing with Benson Henderson is, unless he's losing badly, I suspect this is going to be one of those closer than it needs to be Benson Henderson fights that goes to a split decision. I can totally see that in this fight. I find that Henderson's probably going to have a hard time getting the clinch and keeping the clinch. I would think that Henderson would be the stronger guy here. But, it's really tough to say. But, man, this one's really hard for me to call. Ultimately, I'm going to go Benson Henderson to win by decision. And also by one of those weird split decisions that he seems to get himself into. I can see Benson just getting some, using some veteran savvy to make. This is what I mean too with Benson Henderson. There's actually articles about it and like Bloody Elbow and stuff. He has this way of making his like in the eyes of the judges, like he no-sells a lot of things. If guys hit him clean or something, he's good at no-selling things, and then he's really good and there's something about his offense that judges seem to love. Okay, that's the thing, and I think he seems to know that, and also the no selling thing. He just makes his opponent's offense seem weaker than what it really was in a way. Like, Josh Thompson takes his back standing, dude's fixing his hair. It's like. So just stuff like that. Like you'll see him get hit, and he just kind of doesn't acts like it, didn't do anything to him. He's really good at that too. It's just something you'll notice about him. But once again, to reach this advantage too gives me pause to pick Patricio Pitbull also. It's just it's gonna reach this advantage. He's moving up to 155. He's probably a tough guy too. My problem is I just can't really see how the fight's gonna turn out, except one of those weird Benson Henderson fights. So Benson Henderson to win by decision. Excuse me. So right after that, Derek the Barbaric Anderson fights Saad Assassin Awad. Gotta say, the matchmaking for the main card, for the most part, it's actually pretty solid. I see a good amount of these fights going either way. Derek Anderson, 13-2 record with 1 no contest, 5 wins by KO TKO, 6 wins by sub. 26 years old, he's 6 foot, trading wins and losses. He has some good stand-up and overall good grappling, but his defense is not very good. He's one of those like chin-high type of guys. He's just one of those guys that's tall but doesn't really hide his chin well, so he gets hit quite a bit. But he's actually shown to have a pretty good chin. He actually has some really good wins under his belt. Brandon Gertz knocked him out. He beat Patricio Pitbull. So, Saad Awad, 19-7 record, 8 wins by KO TKO, 7 wins by sub. Has his 2 losses by KO TKO and 2 losses by sub. 33 years old, 5'10", training at a Millennia MMA. Awad's stand-up's pretty solid. He's particularly heavy-handed. His overall grappling game, it's pretty good. He's not a liability on the ground or anything like that. Relatively good takedown defense. You know, he and if the opportunity is there, he will get his own sub. Take the back even. He's not actually that bad at taking the back. There's that one fight where he got that triangle and just kept elbowing the dude. when he went at tab, he just kept elbowing him. So he's actually got a pretty decent ground game. Tough one for me to call. I can't actually imagine how this fight's going to turn out. See it standing. I see Saad Awad probably throwing some heavy strikes. Derek Anderson might eat a couple. I like the diversity of Anderson. He has some good knees, along with the punches and whatnot. He's going to be the taller fighter and the younger fighter. And like I said, his grappling game's not too bad. His potent finisher too. Both are actually. I'm kind of coin flipping here. I'm not gonna lie. I think Saad Awad's actually pretty solid, but I've been kind of impressed with Derek Anderson as of late. He's a guy that seems to be constantly improving. He's actually a pretty good prospect. Still pretty young too, 26 years old, tall for the weight class at 6 foot. So yeah, I'll go Derek Anderson to win. Heck, I'll go by finish. I'll go by KO or TKO. I'm kind of coin flipping here though. This is actually a tough one for me to pick. Next right after that, Bubba the Highlight Kid Jenkins fights Georgi Insane Karakhanyan. Okay, Karakhanyan, 24-6 record with 1 draw, 4 wins by KO or TKO, 14 wins by sub. He also has 2 losses by KO or TKO. 31 years old, he's 5'8", on a 2-fight losing streak. Trains at a Millennia MMA. He's a former World Series of Fighting featherweight champion, and he's defeated Jenkins by guillotine back in January of 2015. Karakhanyan, mainly, the strength of his game is his ground game. His overall BJJ game is really solid. Real good guillotine, good sweeps too if he's on his back. Gun on top. His stand-up's actually pretty solid, but it's not great. You've actually seen him get dropped. He got dropped by Curran, for example. And yeah, it's a bit questionable. Bubba Jenkins, 11-2 record, 4 wins by KO TKO, 3 wins by sub, 28 years old. He's 5'7" on a 3-fight win streak. Trains at a team body shop. That's like Antonio McKee's gym. He's a strong wrestler with good top control, and his stand-up is improving. This one's tough to call just in the sense that I picked Karakhanyan to win last time. Because I like he just had a lot more experience. He's good against wrestlers too, especially with that guillotine that he has. That really stops a lot of guys that want to take him down. This is what makes it tough for me though, because Jenkins, he's a strong wrestler. He got caught by a guillotine last time real quick, but I don't know if that's gonna happen again. So if he gets caught by a sub, then Karakhanyan should win, obviously. Standing, I kind of wonder if Jenkins has closed that gap. Huh. This one's really tough for me to call because you can't even look at like Karakhanyan's 2-fight losing streak and be like, oh, he's on 2-fight losing streak. It's like Pat Curran and gosh, what is his name? The German guy. He's real good too. And now it's killing me because I should have actually checked. He just won like very recently too, and I totally forgot his name. But it's not like I can see Karakhanyan beating Jenkins standing. The only place I can see Karakhanyan beating him is on the ground. Here's the thing, though. Jenkins just beat that really good jiu-jitsu guy uh, pretty recently. But, Karakhanyan's got that really snifty guillotine. Gosh, man, I'm now having a really hard time picking this fight. I was originally going to go with Karakhanyan here. To win by sub. Not gonna lie. Maybe a repeat of what happened last time, but I can't really help but think that like Jenkins has improved enough to to not to get caught by that. And standing, I think they're both equal, and I think Jenkins, if he doesn't get caught by the guillotine, should be able to take Karakhanyan down. The biggest problem with Jenkins is he's a guy that if he wins fights, he still needs to employ his wrestling. And Karakhanyan, like I said, he's a good anti-wrestler type of fighter. Oh, man. But it's not like he cannot get controlled on the ground. He was controlled on the ground by Pat Curran. Um, so, huh. Jeez. I, I, I think I'm going to go. Uh, he kind of caught that guillotine early. That's another thing. Karakhanyan, if he wins, he's gonna win early. Man, I'm changing my pick. I'm gonna go Bubba Jenkins by decision. I think it's gonna be close. Like I said, these fights are really, really hard to call. Real hard to call this time around. I gotta say. I think he could actually get his wrestling, avoid the guillotine, and just do enough in the stand up to get the decision win. Tough one to call though. Next fight after that, AJ Mercenary McKee fights Cody the Crow Walker. So here's my disclaimer here. Cody Walker is the instructor to the boxing skills class that I take. I've talked to him. He's a real cool guy. Just trained under him last Thursday. Um, so this pick right here, I wouldn't even listen to this because, like, I'm going to be absolutely biased here. Let's start with AJ McKee. 4-0, undefeated, 3 wins by KO TKO, 1 win by sub. He's only 21 years old. He's 5'10", trains at a teen body shop, and he's never been past the first round. He is Antonio McKee's son and has been more or less groomed to be a champion. His wrestling's really good. Striking is constantly improving. He's heavy-handed, and he can swarm guys. He's shown that he can knock dudes out. One of the hottest prospects out there right now. AJ McKee is. Bit worrisome that he's never been past the first round because we just do not know what he's like past the first round. Obviously, we don't know his cardio. Maybe he's one of those guys who weathered the early storm. Who knows? Cody Walker, 7-4 record, 4 wins by KO TKO, 3 wins by sub. 28 years old, he's 6'1". He's a finisher, and he's still getting this bout on short notice. He told me it's like 2 weeks. Like, so I've talked to this guy, you know? Yeah, his stand-up's actually pretty solid. He's a pretty good grappler and a finisher as well. Look, I know that AJ McKee, hot prospect, great wrestling, heavy hands, improving striking. But I know Cody Walker, like I said, teaches my class. I've talked to the guy. He's a nice guy, real cool guy. Me and my brother actually take his class. So, I mean, I gotta go with Walker. Just because. It's an absolutely biased pick. He is a finisher, though. He is relatively experienced. Prospects have to lose sometime. Hey, look at Joe Taminglo versus Darian Caldwell. You know, famous prospect loss right there. You see that all the time. They run into some guillotine, run into something stupid, and lose their bout. Maybe that happens here. Hey, McKee's never been past the first round. We don't know anything about him past the second and third. But obviously I'm picking Walker here mainly because I know the guy, and I'm terribly biased. So I'm gonna go Cody Walker. Heck, I'm gonna go by sub. Just maybe this is the fight. Maybe this is the fight that AJ McKee gets the prospect loss. But I gotta show my support. So Cody Walker by sub. On the prelim card, Chinzo Machida fights Mario Navarro. Navarro has a 4-4 record, 1 win by TKO, 3 wins by sub, 33 years old. He's 5'11", on a 2-fight losing streak, last fought in April of 2014. Chinzo Machida, 3-2 record, 2 wins by KO TKO, 1 win by decision. He's 39 years old. He's 5'9", on a 2-fight win streak, and he last fought in June of 2014. Go Chinzo Machida to win that one. Next fight after that, Joey Davis fights Keith Cutrone. I've not seen any footage of these guys. I know Cutrone's 1-0 undefeated with 1 win by TKO, and he's 6'1". Joey Davis, he's 22 years old. He's one of the guys training at the Team Body Shop. I gotta go with Joey Davis to win that one. Next fight after that, Kevin Baby Slice Ferguson Jr. fights Jonny the Arm Collector Tomasian. Haven't watched any footage of Tomasian. He's no pro MMA record, and he's 5'11". Kevin Ferguson Jr., no pro MMA bouts. He's 1-0 as an amateur. Saw that fight. He has a KO. He won that fight by KO. Trains out of Teen Body Shop. I'll go with Kevin Ferguson Jr. to win that one. Next fight after that, I have not watched footage of these guys. Gabriel Green fights Alex Trinidad. Green, 1-0 record, 1 win by sub. He's 5'10", trains out of Sub Fighter. Alex Trinidad, he's 1-0, 1 win by KO or TKO. He's 5'9", trains out of the arena in San Diego, if I'm not mistaken. Sub Fighter is actually down the street from me. I actually know some guys that fight out of Sub Fighter and compete out of Sub Fighter. I'll go with Gabriel Green to win that one. So right after that, Ron Cocky Henderson fights Steve Ramirez. Have not watched any footage of Henderson. He's 4-2. He has a 4-2 record, 1 win by KO or TKO, 1 win by sub. He's 5'4", trains at a Black House. Steve Ramirez, 4-1 record, 1 win by KO or TKO, 3 wins by sub. He's 5'7" on a 4-fight win streak. And he is a finisher. He's fought in Bellator before. Looked pretty good. I'll go Steve Ramirez to win that one. Next fight after that, David Duran fights Kyle Estrada. Estrada, 3-2 record, 2 wins by KO or TKO, 1 win by decision, 26 years old. He's 5'6", trains at a Black House, and he's trading wins and losses. David Duran, 3-4 record, 3 wins by KO or TKO, 2 losses by KO or TKO. He's 5'7". Not watch footage of these guys. I'll go with Kyle Estrada to win that one. have not watched footage of these next two guys. Jacob the Little Badger Rosales fights Mike Segura. Um, Rosales 3-2 record, 2 wins by KO, 1 win by decision. He's only 21 years old. Trains out of CSW, where Josh Barnett trains out of. He's on a 2-fight win streak. He's fighting Mike Segura. He's a 4-3 record, 2 wins by KO, 2 wins by sub. It's 1 loss by KO and 2 losses by sub. So he's a finisher. He's never been to decision. 27 years old. He's 6'2", trains out of sub fighter. On a 2-fight losing streak. Everything's like a pick'em fight here. You know what I mean? I haven't watched a video of these guys. I have a guy I train with that actually knows Mike Segura. So I'll just go with Mike Segura doing that one. Like I said, this card takes place in California, just like a 30-minute drive from me. And some of these guys train very close to me, or train with guys that I know, or train in camps that I'm friends with people in that camp. So I'm actually gonna be a bit more biased in this card than normal. Right after that, Jonny the Tattooed Terrorist Cisneros fights Andy the Tooth Fairy Murad. Murad, 13-2 record, 4 wins by KO, 4 wins by sub. He's 5'9" on a 7-fight win streak. Cisneros, 9-4 record, 5 wins by KO, 4 wins by decision. He has 2 losses by KO. 36 years old, he's 5'11". I think Cisneros actually fought on the main card of a Bellator once or twice. Forgot if Andy Murad has. Anyways, I'll go Andy Murad to win that one. And finally, Steven Martinez fights Jake the North County Nightmare Roberts. Roberts, 6-0 undefeated record, 1 win by KO, 4 wins by sub. He's 5'10". Steven Martinez, 11-4 record, 2 wins by KO, 9 wins by sub. He has 3 losses by KO, 29 years old. He's 5'9", trains out of Millennium MMA. He's a finisher, trading losses and wins. I'll go with Jake Roberts to win that one. Okay, to recap, Benson Henderson versus Patricio Freire. I have Benson Henderson by decision. Derek Anderson versus Saad Awad. I have Derek Anderson win by KO. Bubba Jenkins versus Georgi Karakhanyan. I have Jenkins by decision. And AJ McKee versus Cody Walker. I have Cody Walker by sub. On the prelims, I have Chinzo Machida over Mario Navarro. Joey Davis beating Keith Cutrone. Kevin Ferguson Jr. over Jonny Tomasian. Gabriel Green beating Alex Trinidad. Steve Ramirez over Ron Henderson. Kyle Estrada over David Duran. Mike Segura beating Jacob Rosales. Andy Murad over Jonny Cisneros. And Jake Roberts beating Steven Martinez. So that's it for my predictions for Bellator 160, Henderson versus Freire. If you have any comments, just leave them below. And please check out some of my works, starting with The Mustard Prince in the Condiment Kingdom for $4.99 at www.chrismaldon.com on PDF format. Or if you have an e-reader, you can get it out of Amazon.com. And for just $1.99, you can get some of my short stories and short story collections, starting with The Land of the Wooden Statues, my horror collection, and my fantasy fable collection. Links to all of these will be provided in the description below. So that's it for MMA for You. Thank you guys very much.